Hi, I'm Rob,
I'm Katie.
and we're
Livin' Lovin' Disney.
come join us on our podcast where we talk about all things Disney.
Like our trips and cruises, our DVC resorts, tours of the park, after-hour parties, and our family's crazy Disney life.
We've got some older episodes for you to listen to and get to know us a little bit.
Keep on dreaming.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob.
And Katie.
Welcome into this episode of
Livin' Lovin' Disney.
That's all right. That's all right. Sorry, I messed that up, but you know. Anyways, do we have anything to talk about before we get into our main subject at the point? I guess maybe I shouldn't have said that. We'll have news stories.
I don't have a ton of news stories. I know that they just announced the Disneyland dates for Christmas, which is cool. They haven't announced if they're going to have a Christmas party or the dates on that, but they did announce the dates for Christmas. I think it was November 22nd.
I think they're having some Halloween stuff too. I thought I'd
they are.
To,
they're having a Noogie Boogie.
They were talking about that.
Yep.
So, anyways, those things are out there. We haven't really gotten into a lot of news lately. It's been working a lot. So, but we do have a subject we want to talk about tonight. We just watched Lightyear, and we want to talk about that movie. From what I understood from when it first came out into the theaters, it wasn't doing all that great. I don't know if you heard anything, but
I was hearing mixed reviews. A lot of people said it just didn't hit the mark for them.
So I wasn't real, let's go to the theater. So we were just going to wait till it came to the streaming on Disney Plus. So that's what we did. We watched it.
Right.
So I watched it by myself one day, and Katie was watching something else, and then she watched it.
I watched it last night.
Anyways, let's kind of get into it. I didn't know what to think. I mean, I hadn't really. I think I saw the trailer, but I didn't remember it all that great. So I didn't know what to think when I was watching it. So I had a totally open mind.
I had very high hopes.
Yeah.
Because I love Toy Story.
Now they didn't have
the whole thing.
Tim Allen wasn't.
And, I'm sad that Tim Allen wasn't part of it.
For whatever reason, I
vocally,
don't remember the reasons.
The other, the new guy did just fine.
Captain America
did fine. He actually
It sounded pretty good.
Pretty good doing it. It wasn't that. It was just Tim Allen. It's a classic.
Now, this was supposed to be the movie that it says in the beginning of the movie. It says, this is the movie that made Andy a Buzz Lightyear fan.
Correct. Okay, that's a big lead in.
So
pressure's on. That it has to be.
So I'm like, okay.
In my mind, to make a kid fall in love with a character, it's got to be exciting, playful, funny. They got to go on an adventure and have great success. There's just
when I was a kid,
more to it.
You had the moon landing and all that stuff going on. I remember them having G.I. Joe type figures of astronauts. They had all that kind of stuff going on. You wanted one of those because you wanted to, be a part of that whole space thing, And so they sold that stuff. Everybody wanted that kind of stuff. And but that was because going to the moon was awesome. I mean, going to space, it was just like the thing, right? Mm-hmm. So you're excited about it. You wanted to be part of it. So as a kid, you're like, this is awesome, So that's what I'm expecting from this movie, because now Andy's supposed to become this Space Ranger fan because Buzz is awesome. All these, he's a space ranger. He's going out into space, like
to infinity Star Trek and beyond. The wings, the whole character.
Right.
None of that was in that movie.
No, there was no adventure really. Right. At first, when you first get into it, I mean, they're on the planet. They're exploring the planet. They called their ship the Turnip.
He called it the Turnip because of the shape of it. Shape of a turnip. He's entirely too independent and proud to ask for help right from the get-go.
Right.
And because of that, it alludes to the fact that he causes more damage to happen, or at least he thinks that. The thing had already grabbed the ship when they walked away. It's not like it was his fault.
Yeah, the vines.
They didn't know it was happening, but he blames himself for it because of that.
So let me ask you this before we get into more of that. What did you think about the character, the way they depicted, as far as the drawing, the artist's rendering of Buzz? Did you like that? I mean, it was different from the cartoon version, from the other Pixar Buzzes.
Correct. I mean, they elongated his face.
Well, he looked more human, like a human, not a toy.
Yeah, they changed it. But I saw if you watch the other Disney special on Disney Plus, the creation of Buzz and how they came to his character and what he looked like and all the different faces of Buzz before they decided what Buzz was going to look like.
Okay.
It helps you to kind of realize the evolution of that. And the Buzz in the movie looks more like some of the drawings that they had of him.
Did you like it? Or did you think it took away from the Buzz character because it looked so more human, more like a person?
It felt more live action in that part where they were trying to make him look like a real person.
That is a Disney live action.
No. You know what I mean? They were trying to make him look more humanized than like a toy. Because the other is a toy and he's the human. So they had to humanize him a little more for the movie.
Okay. So you don't think that took away from the character of Buzz per se?
No, because if you put that in relation, then no. Because in the movie, this is a human.
So Andy could still tie to that character in your view?
Yes.
Under the right circumstances?
Yes. But there needed to be some definite excitement. I mean, the character himself. Okay, I love Buzz. Love the whole thing.
It started out okay.
Starts out, I mean, he is a do-it-all-for-you guy, get her done. Okay.
Right.
I don't need any help. I am spaceman, you know?
Right.
And, you know, he's got his strength and character. Okay, gotcha. Okay, he introduces himself. Very quickly, you realize he is very prideful, can't get help, doesn't know what he's doing all the time. You know, things happen. He's human. Things happen. He blames himself. He goes through all these different things. And like, at what point do you connect a kid to this character? Because it didn't really, if I were a kid, I would be like, where's the excitement? Where's the fun? This guy is depressed and upset right in the beginning. And then
he's my hero.
And then he crashes the ship. He blames himself, handcuffs himself. And
which is kind of funny.
Which is kind of funny as they're sitting there and he's describing what would have to happen to be able to get off of this planet. And he finishes his sentence as she's just watching him go through all the scenario of the things that are going to happen to create a new fuel rod. And he goes, what kind of idiot would do that? And he goes, oh, yeah. He's the idiot.
I'm that kind of idiot. Okay, so, with that, all right, we talked a little bit before the podcast about this. Now, these guys are intergalactic space travelers, okay? Mm-hmm. They're not, this isn't their first rodeo.
No.
Okay? They're like way far away from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's, you know, they woke Buzz up from hypersleep
because there was a possible live planet, undiscovered planet there.
They're all asleep. I mean, except for minimal people to fly the ship, or maybe it was on autopilot. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, so this is a situation. But these guys are well aware of what it takes to fly through space. And we're talking about a Pixar film. It's not like, I know it's a kid flick, basically, but we're trying to make sense of what's in the movie. Okay, so
they've already created rocket fuel.
Yeah, they already know what the rocket fuel
They created this once before.
They should already know the mixture of the rocket fuel that takes to fly the ship.
You would think,
right?
But, I mean, you know, let's not.
So why were they so?
Before we get to the beginning here. So.
Why were they so? So that became the big problem because they didn't know the mixture, right?
Of the fuel.
They should have. I would think they already have that in a file somewhere.
I mean, according to the sleep station, there was a ship full of scientists there.
Well, obviously, because
they recreated a spaceship, a tower, a rocket tower, living pods, cars, tires. God knows where they created those from, and all kinds of stuff was mined from the resources
of the planet
this planet with their incredible intelligence and capabilities and lack of tools. Of course, all they had was what was on the turnip.
Well,
to
maybe
begin
the
with,
turnip had tools.
And the brain.
Just in
so,
case.
I don't know how they came up with all the resources they came up with and created. Was a little bit mystifying to me. That in that time that they created all this stuff with all these scientists and tests they had to create to figure out what to mine and where to go on this planet that has green vines that absorb you and attack you every time you move, and bugs that grab you, that would have been my first task, is to get rid of the vines and the bugs. Figure out a safe way to be able to keep them away from me. But these darn vines,
they're living things.
That's okay, but there should be a way that they could have created to keep them out.
That was comic relief.
It was comic relief. But
it was comic relief.
They were there for a long time. They needed to be able to figure out how to keep from getting swallowed by the earth. But I mean, it just seems with all those scientists, they could have come up with this fuel ratio.
One of those people on there
in a lot less time
had to have been a rocket person, you know.
Exactly.
So they should have known. I mean, that's a big hole in it. I think. Rob, you're Mr. Know-it-all. I don't see why they should have known that already.
You have all those people who already conquered space,
and they're way in the heck out there, right?
Yep.
You think the possibility, hey, we maybe could get stranded somewhere at some point. They would have some kind of a
backup plan for
that, just in case.
This disc thing, that crystal that broke, they should have had a backup for that. I sure would have. I was flying middle of nowhere.
Even if they had to mine for sources for the materials to make the crystal,
if it existed,
that's fine.
Yes.
But they should have the formula at least already somewhere.
Kind of in their heads. I mean, it's comical that 3 generations of scientists, kids, and into grandchildren could not figure this thing out, but the stupid computer cat figures it out.
It was Socks.
Socks, the cat, figures it out in 62 point whatever years, all by himself.
That's a lot of years.
I'm just saying, it took the computer cat to figure out. Now think, it's a computer. It's been programmed by someone else with that intelligence.
I know.
So I don't get it.
Right. It's a computer, I don't know. Whatever. So then, okay. So you know what we said on that. Okay, now let's go to the next plot thing, okay? Okay. In Toy Story, Zurg is the bad guy, okay? He's the evil alien robot bad guy that Buzz is fighting all the time, okay? When you're at Disney World and you're in the Buzz Lightyear thing, you're shooting
evil Emperor Zurg.
Okay. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, this is an evil thing. How did you feel about who Zurg ended up being? I mean, I think they just kind of I think they kind of ruined it.
I did not like that twist at all. It doesn't sit. That he is both the good guy and the bad guy.
So Zurg's Buzz older.
Zurg is Buzz older, who wants to go back and change everything to make it so it never happened.
Which he's Marty McFly, basically. He wants to right the wrong.
Yeah, I get it, and it's not really evil, as the evil Emperor Zurg is evil. He's not really evil. He's just trying to right the wrong.
He's trying to complete the mission.
Yeah, complete the mission, because he's one-track minded. And Buzz was one-track minded. I'm going to see how many times I can loop around the stupid sun and still not get success, and watch everybody I know die. How depressing. How do you get that's my hero out of that?
That's why I don't understand where Andy would have got, Buzz Lightyear.
I gotta be Buzz.
Because there's no,
I'm sorry, Buzz does not fly.
There was really no action in the movie. I mean, there was no cool Space Ranger stuff.
No, I figured he would have him fly through space at some time, with some kind of a space suit or something. And I don't know.
Remember when they were that was the other thing. I thought was kind of goofy. When they're in the spaceship and they're going back to the planet and they're going through the atmosphere and they're starting to burn up to get hot, Buzz is outside in a spacesuit with his wings, and he's not burning up.
Because he's Buzz. He's super suit.
He would
be dead.
Why not? I'm just like, so their super suit was really a super suit. Anyways, I
have to admit, I fell asleep.
I really didn't like how they did that.
I didn't like the Zurg thing.
I would have much rather had Zurg as some evil, robot, alien type person that was just trying to overtake the universe or something.
I think they could have still incorporated the same kind of thought, but had an evil Emperor Zurg. And maybe, as he discovers Zurgs and gets up on there, he discovers his alter self captive there or something. And they talk to each other and he tells him he's trying to correct things. Or, they could have twisted that back where they meet themselves, Buzz and Buzz, in different time frames and had conversation.
But he wouldn't
without being the evil Zurg.
He wouldn't have been Zurg. He would have been himself.
Been himself, either had sneaked aboard this thing or was captive on that thing, and Buzz gets on there, bumps into himself
in the future or something,
and they have to still make that decision: do we erase the past so this never happened, or just move forward?
Because he made a good point.
That dilemma with the point was good to still think about that.
The older Buzz made a good point.
Yeah,
I mean, if he went ahead and because they had the technology to do it now, they got the fuel mixture right. They could have send it all back to where all that other stuff didn't happen, and nobody would have known the wiser.
No, but
but now Buzz met all these people, so that was his dilemma. Like, okay, I've met so and so's daughter, I've met these other people. They've had a whole life on this planet,
Yeah, but that does not mean that had they gotten back and you twisted time back, that they couldn't have still met because they both worked in the same field.
That's true.
That they could have met. They could have still had a family.
Her significant other, which was a woman.
More, you don't know.
Yeah, they could have still met.
The life still could have been had. It may have been a little different, and maybe Buzz could have introduced them because he knew. It could have gone either way. It still wasn't a dead end that life wouldn't have happened.
It just wouldn't have happened on that planet.
It just wouldn't have been getting eaten by a plant every 2 minutes.
And the other thing that kind of struck me was the new commander of the Space Force, which really didn't exist anymore because they gave up all the Rangers. Were no longer.
Yeah, what's the point in having?
So why was there a Space Force? Because they just basically gave up to the fact they're going to stay on that planet. They weren't even trying to get off the planet at that point.
No.
Now he's just basically the president of Planet.
Let's put a shield over the top to protect us, even though these vine things come from the freaking ground. They come up through the ground and grab you.
Did they still grab you even when the shield was over the top?
They didn't seem to be stopped by anything, no matter where they were. They could zoop.
It's tremors. It's tremors.
It is, yeah. That shield ain't gonna stop that.
So, anyways, yeah. So there you have it. That's our feelings on it. I mean,
I didn't see, and I'm gonna go back and probably watch it because I fell asleep at the end and didn't make it all the way through it.
Well, you did watch. You did fast forward to that part. Did you not do that?
I didn't watch the very end of it.
Okay.
I got a little busy today doing yard work. Anyway. I watched most of it. I fell asleep at the very end. So I have trouble with the whole beginning of that, saying this is how Andy developed his hero worship of the space guy.
I don't see that.
I didn't find that connection where he is the hero, you know? And the epic battle that he could have had with Zurg and took Zurg out and rescued his alter self.
Even if he didn't take Zurg out, they could have had like a battle or something.
And then still had to make that decision, and one would return to his time and whatever. But I think they could have twisted the end.
Luke Skywalker didn't take Darth Vader out right away. You know what I mean? They could have had I'm your father. Sorry.
Easy there, bud.
It's a rocking up here. So yeah, they could have had a battle with Zurg, and Zurg could have escaped, but they could have done something different. Made Buzz more of a hero space ranger to kids, and so that the kids would be excited to have a space ranger
to do the.
I just don't. They didn't accomplish that, and that's all there is to it.
I don't think they hit that hero moment.
Rob, you're negative. You're negative, Rob.
It's all right. We're used to it. Everyone's got an opinion, so it's okay. We're gonna voice an opinion.
Animation was great.
It was a good job on the animation.
As always,
character development was good.
Pixar does a great job. They do a great job on animation. I mean, all the stuff was good that way.
Yeah, it had moments.
But the story was kind of weak. That's all there's to it.
I
wish I could say different. I really do. I wanted to like it, and there were certain parts of it I liked, but overall, I just think they failed.
It was more of one of Buzz's adventures than the Buzz Lightyear adventure. You know, it didn't hit it. It
wasn't the one that captured the heart and soul of every American kid that, you know, dreamt of space travel.
No.
It just didn't happen.
Not for me either.
Here we come, right down to it. You got the Snow White
Rotten Apple
Award. What do you give this movie?
And what's our top and what's our bottom?
We'll just go 5's the top, 1's the bottom, or 0's the bottom. You go 10. Go up to 10.
Okay, I wouldn't give this over a 5 because I'm
going to give it a 4.
I just think they could have done it. If it's truly going to be a hero's movie, then they needed to do more hero development and let him be fun and powerful and pew pew more battle
they
and more.
They didn't accomplish that. It was more about. I mean, there was relationship stuff in there, and I didn't get into all that.
He looked more like he was depressed.
He didn't have any friends.
He had nobody. Everyone died around him. He was going against authority constantly. All challenged to try to save these people who died and were on the next generations to take them back home. He just sacrificed his whole life for that. But I mean, how many times can you loop around the sun and get nowhere? I mean, at some point, he had to be one depressed puppy.
Well, I mean, it was 62 years for the people on the planet, but it wasn't 62 years for him. It's however many days he looped around the planet. It could have been 10 days for all we know. It depended on how fast he went, is how many, depended on how many years actually went by. So for him, it was just a matter of a few days. It wasn't years at all.
But as soon as you realize that, everyone's aging on the planet, I mean.
Well, they brought that up. You can't keep doing this because
we'll all be dead anyway.
Right.
You know.
So, but he was hoping that he could do it. But what if the next time's the right time? Again, you go back to. I don't understand why they didn't have this stupid.
He persevered. That's the only part of heroism that I caught. I mean, he was not willing to quit. He was going to complete his mission.
But he didn't. But did he complete his mission?
He couldn't save the people; they were already dead.
He didn't get anybody back to
Earth.
So he didn't really. What he came to realize was that the message of the movie basically was that everybody on that planet had a life, but him, basically. But it took time for him to realize that later on in the movie that all these people had lives, a full life on that planet. That's what changed his mind.
This was just fate, and then this is what happened. And
so really the mission never got
wasting his time on those
the mission
missions.
never got accomplished.
No.
What the mission was, it never really got accomplished. It just
so you don't really get that.
So they're still stuck on the planet, basically.
Where's the heroism? Where's that hero?
There's no heroism.
Take out Zurg. He doesn't save the people. Where's the hero?
Whatever happened to I don't even remember what happened to Zurg.
I don't know.
That's how memorable it was.
He turned into.
I watched the whole thing.
Old Buzz, and I don't know anything after that.
Well, they tried to destroy the ship, which I think they did, but they did destroy Zurg. So for all I know, Zurg could still be out there, but it's just not that memorable. So, anyways, I hate to be negative, dude, but.
And if you're going to play into the Toy Stories with Zurg, now it doesn't. Because they're all playing against evil Emperor Zurg, all their games to kill it. And it's like, wait a minute. Now you realize that
Buzz is fighting Buzz.
Is fighting Buzz,
Who
and he's got a good and an evil side.
But he's not really...
He's not really evil, but why dress up like Darth Vader in the evil suit if you're not really evil? What was the point of being an alter ego? Right. It just didn't fit.
Right. Okay, that's it. I think we can talk on forever and ever and reach the same conclusion.
Same conclusion.
So, anyways,
I will give it another watch.
If you guys want to share your thoughts on this movie yourself, you can go to our Facebook page, Live and Lemon Disney on Facebook, and leave a message on there if you want to leave a comment to us because we are negative people.
We're not negative. We just have an opinion like everybody else.
I know. I really wanted
I really wanted this to succeed. I
that movie.
Really did.
And there were certain parts, the artistic part of it,
I enjoyed.
They did a good job.
I like the silly computer class.
Anyways, so leave a comment on there if you'd like. Other than that, thanks for joining us on this episode, and we hope you enjoyed it. Till next week, be good humans, and we'll see you next time on Live and Lemon Disney.
See ya. Bye-bye.